Hello everyone, I'm Reaper of Soul. Today I want to share a complete lesson on how to create a novel with strong, interconnected chapters of story structure that keeps readers engaged, curious, and emotionally invested from beginning to end. Let's get started. First, you need to understand the structure of your story. Before you even start writing, decide roughly how many episodes or chapters your story will have. Each episode needs its own mini-plot, its own conflict, and its own purpose. But here's the key, it must also connect to the larger story. Think of every episode as a single tile inside a much bigger, more intricate pattern. Readers absolutely love it when each piece leads naturally to the next, creating this amazing sense of discovery and satisfaction. It's what makes a story feel cohesive and intentional. Next, establish your core meaning. Every great interconnected novel needs a central theme. This is the heart that beats through all of your episodes. It could be hope, loss, identity, destiny, survival, or growth. This theme gives your story a clear direction and deep emotional resonance. It should guide your characters' emotions, their biggest decisions, and all the struggles they face across their entire journey. When your theme is strong, every chapter will feel like it's contributing to a larger, more meaningful conversation. Now let's talk about characters because they are the lifeblood of your story. Your characters must evolve, not just across the whole book, but also within each individual episode. You need to show how every event changes them. How do their beliefs shift? How do their relationships with others change? What new fears do they develop? What goals do they abandon or adopt? Readers connect deeply when they can see a character's transformation step by step. So give each episode a unique emotional challenge that shapes who they become later on. This gradual change is what makes them feel real. With that in mind, you need to outline each episode clearly. Every single episode needs a few key ingredients: a conflict to drive the action, a turning point where something significant changes, a resolution for that specific conflict, and most importantly, a clear connection to the next episode. You have to plan how each episode influences the one that follows. Small choices, small mistakes, or even small victories can snowball into huge consequences later on. These connections create a powerful and satisfying sense of continuity that readers crave. Every episode needs to start strong and end even stronger. Begin each one with a compelling hook, a burning question, a sudden moment of action, a surprising event, or a personal crisis that immediately grabs the reader's attention. And then you have to end each episode with something that leaves them wanting more. This could be a classic cliffhanger, a new mystery, a shocking reveal, or a powerful emotional turning point. A good ending builds curiosity, and as we all know, curiosity is what makes readers addicted to your story. You also have to maintain your character flow and the story's movement. This means you must carefully control when characters appear in the story, how often they show up, how long they stay in the spotlight, and how their presence affects the events of that particular episode. Poor character flow can create a lot of confusion and make your story feel cluttered or disjointed. But strong character flow makes the story feel alive, dynamic, and perfectly interconnected. Think of your cast like an ecosystem. Every character has a purpose and a moment to shine. Another crucial point is maintaining consistency throughout your story. You have to keep your tone, your narrative voice, your world building, and your internal logic consistent from chapter to chapter. Keep a careful track of things like character development, the rules of your world, any promises you've made to the reader earlier on, and any unresolved problems. A story that stays consistent becomes believable, no matter how fantastical or fictional its premise is. Consistency is the foundation of reader trust. If you're sharing your story online or getting feedback as you write, let your readers be part of the journey. Listen carefully to what they're saying. Readers often notice things that you, as the writer, might have missed. Their reactions can help you improve your pacing, strengthen your character arcs, fix confusing parts of the plot, or even spark new ideas you hadn't considered. Don't be afraid to stay flexible and open to improvement. Your readers can be your greatest allies in making the story better. When it comes to editing, try a technique I call editing in the mind. You don't always need to read your work out loud or analyze every single detail with a critical eye. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just silently read in your mind, letting your thoughts calm down almost like a form of meditation. When your mind is quiet, you'll naturally start to see mistakes, missing scenes, awkward transitions, or emotional imbalances. After you've done this quiet read-through, you can go back and revise each episode to improve its clarity, adjust the pacing, and strengthen its emotional impact. Then read them all together to ensure a smooth, seamless flow. A great way to keep readers hooked is to leave questions at the end of your episodes. Always give your readers something to think about. What's going to happen next? Why did that character just do that? What does that mysterious clue mean? These unanswered questions create a powerful sense of anticipation. And it's that anticipation that keeps readers coming back for the next chapter, and the next, and the next. Make sure that all your problems and plot threads are connected. All the conflicts in your story, big and small, should be connected like the branches of a tree. Even small, seemingly insignificant issues can tie back into the bigger ones in surprising ways. But be careful, having too many loose threads or forgotten details can really confuse your readers. So keep a clear record of all your plot lines to make sure everything gets tied up in a satisfying way. To make each part of your story stand out, try adding episode themes. Give each episode its own unique emotion or message. For example, you could have an episode of fear, followed by an episode of discovery, then an episode of betrayal, and then an episode of healing or truth. This technique makes every chapter feel memorable and gives your series a wonderful emotional rhythm. It prevents the story from feeling flat or one note. You can also use parallel arcs across episodes to add depth. While your main character is growing and changing, let your secondary characters grow at the same time in their own small, self-contained arcs. These parallel arcs add layers to your world and make it feel much more interconnected and alive. They also give readers multiple journeys to follow and get invested in, which can make your story even richer. Don't forget the power of foreshadowing. Plant seeds early in your story that will bloom later on. Add small hints that will pay off in a big way down the line. This could be a mysterious item, a strange warning from a side character, a brief, seemingly random meeting, or a forgotten detail from a past conversation. When the answer finally appears in a later episode, readers who picked up on the clue feel incredibly rewarded and smart for noticing it. It's also important to balance the quiet moments with the big moments. Your story needs both. It needs those calm, intimate scenes where characters can reflect and connect, and it needs those explosive, dramatic scenes where the stakes are high. The quiet moments are where you reveal the heart of your characters. The big moments are where you reveal the stakes of your story. Both are absolutely essential for a well-paced, interconnected narrative. Finally, try to build an episode identity. Give each episode its own unique feel through its tone, its pacing, its central conflict, and its emotional focus. This is what prevents your story from feeling repetitive. When each episode has a different mood and style, the overall journey feels much more dynamic and rich. To help with all of this, I highly recommend keeping a master map of your story world. Create a document or a diagram that tracks your character paths, their alliances, their secrets, the story's timeline, all the locations, and the overarching themes. This map will help you reduce mistakes and keep everything perfectly interconnected. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy lessons like this, follow my channel like you do.